Good day, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. It has some technical issues there for the first 30 or 40 seconds, but nonetheless, we'll jump right into it. So Jack Smith, the special counsel who led prosecutions against President-elect Donald Trump, has resigned from the Department of Justice. Smith was responsible for cases alleging Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election results and mishandling classified documents. Both cases were dismissed following Trump's election victory. Smith's resignation was effective January 10th, 2025. And this is where a lot of critics and political pundits were stating that Donald Trump will inadvertently and indirectly drain the swamp. People will just start to buy out and quit altogether before they're disgraced or probably even prosecuted for false allegations on some accounts that Donald Trump was not convicted of. So we have to look at both sides of this as well. But a lot of these people are stepping down for their positions because they know, for one, they're going to be replaced and or fired. Then secondly, again, Trump has hinted that he will come for those who made false allegations to prosecute them. So again, there's a whole list of people that should be looking for Joe Biden to give them a preemptive pardon, not just Liz Cheney and Dr. Anthony Fauci. So there's a lot others as well. Even though, despite Donald Trump's felony convictions for falsifying business records, President-elect Trump retains certain rights in Florida. He can still vote, and do not forget that he has his home there, Mar-a-Lago, that's in Florida. And as the state restores voting rights after sentence completion, except for a specific series of offenses, which they're saying this is not. But under federal law, he is prohibited from owning a firearm. So I don't think that the president of the United States, or even like himself, a prior president of the United States, will ever need to own a firearm. They will always have Secret Service around them 24/7. 365. So I don't think that's a big ask. But he's also required to provide a DNA sample to New York's crime data bank, just in case after his 4-year term, he starts to commit crimes. They can always fingerprint him and have a DNA sample on. I don't know if they ever get the DNA sample. I think that's a stretch. I don't think they will ever receive the DNA sample. Now, if you guys have been following this, the U.S. Justice Department has released a comprehensive report on the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. They described it as a coordinated military-style attack against the Black community of Greenwood. The report contradicts early accounts that downplayed the racial motivations and legality of the assault. Due to the statute of limitation and the death of perpetrators, no legal actions can be pursued, so they can now reveal the truth. Have you noticed that? Anything that is somewhat dealing with civil rights or race or discrimination, there's a statute of limitation. And then once that statute of limitation has expired, you can no longer go after those people who, or their family, who did these certain acts. And then from there, they release the true information. That's what seems to go off here, because this was definitely a deadly rampage that had military style strategy and attack of how they destroyed this very prominent, very robust Black community. It states that, yeah, the probe finds that it was a coordinated military style attack. Over 300 Black residents were killed on May 31st, between that and June 1st in 1921. And what they failed to mention 2 years before this was the Red Summer of 1919, where the majority of other prominent Black communities were destroyed due to racial attacks as well. So I just wanted to point that out. They're now revealing the information that this was a military style attack. So they're hinting, they are insinuating to a degree that someone who was either military affiliated or military personnel or higher ups themselves were involved in some way or manner. And if that is true, then that means that the federal government, again, tried to eradicate and eliminate all black folk who were doing well, keeping people in a particular place. You see what I'm saying? Because if you strategize this, if you did a plan to destroy, what was a prosperous neighborhood, and this was 2 years after the Red Summer of 1919, where we had other black Wall Streets, we had other black prominent districts, and when this one popped up, you destroyed this as well. So again, that goes back to the federal government. Again, that's when they say military style attack, there was either someone who's prime military, affiliated with the military, or the military was directly involved. Maybe not in the physical attacks, but the strategizing of it. That is what I'm getting out of this report here. So leave your comments below on that particular story. Now, I've stated this time before, the same thing that Vice President-elect J.D. Vance has stated: the individuals who committed the violence during the January 6th Capitol riot should obviously not be pardoned. Those who committed violence should not be pardoned. I've been saying this for a very long time. I don't think they will pardon anyone who was violent. Because again, if you are an American patriot, if you are a red-blooded and you love this country, those people who went to January 6th to protest should not be prosecuted. They should not be in jail. They should not serve any prison time. For those people who entered the Capitol unlawfully, trespassing and destroying government property, and who were violent, yes, they should not get pardoned. They should serve their time in jail. Because again, I told you, not every single person who was there on January 6th was an insurrectionist. They were not all rioters. They were not all being violent. Okay, there's a demographic within those people who were peacefully protesting, that were doing the right thing and executing their constitutional right. But there was a third of them who entered the Capitol unlawfully, who defamed government property, who put Congress people at risk. And now we're making excuses about, I believe the lady named who lost her life, who tried to enter the chamber where the Congress people were meeting. I think, was it Ashley Babbitt? And there was a black police officer, Capitol police officer, that did his job. See, it's back to blue until we disagree with you. Yeah. Let's back to blue until we disagree with you. And I wonder if that officer were white. Yeah, we're talking about race dynamics to a certain degree, because that's what people were calling out. But again, I agree with J.D. Vance. Not all those who were here, right? There was peaceful protesters, and we see that we have police, SWAT teams at the top there. But there were some people just peacefully protesting. Not everybody was going ape crap up here on this ledge to enter the Capitol. So again, I know that the smoke dispersed looks like it's a very large, but there's no brandishing of certain weapons or guns. There might have been a pocket knife here and there. I think there was one person of a report that had a gun, but for the most part, a lot of their crimes, in my opinion, was petty. But nonetheless, they tried to stop the peaceful transfer of power. So again, you have those rioters who just was trying to destroy stuff because they were angry. Then you had actual insurrectionists who tried to stop the proceedings. And then when one of those alleged insurrectionists tried to enter the chamber where the Congress people were and they were hiding for their lives, there was a police officer, back to blue. There was a police officer that did his job and neutralized the threat. But again, it's back to blue until we disagree with you. We understand the dynamics. So police arrest 2 suspected burglars at Kamala Harris' Brentwood home amid fires. I don't know if they were trying to find any illegal documentation. again, burglars, are they just, your average day burglars getting inside of a home that should be protected to some degree, even during those fires? Because I'm pretty sure they could have like high grade security. Or were these some sort of, I don't want to say government agents because that kind of put on the conspiracy hat. But again, just looking for information, clues, evidence of any wrongdoing further than what they already know. So I thought that was interesting as well, but who knows what may come out from that particular news. So in a recent meeting with New York Republicans, President-elect Donald Trump expressed support for raising the cap on state and local tax when it comes to SALT and those deductions therein. Because currently limited to $10,000, he also agreed to assist in eliminating New York City's congestion pricing, which imposes a $15 toll on drivers entering Manhattan below 60th Street. These initiatives aim to alleviate the financial burden on New Yorkers because, again, if you guys are familiar with New York, if you ever drove in New York, they have a lot of tolls. Also in Washington State, there's a certain bridge you go over in Washington State, and every time you go across that bridge, that local jurisdiction charges you $5. And I don't know how much they pay to the state. Because a lot of the bridges in America, we are still paying a price. We're still paying a bill. You guys ever live local to somewhere where they build a bridge or they build a sort of toll, and then they tell you that the initial payments that you're making is for the convenience to have that bridge. So you pay this bridge price, you pay $5, $8 every time you cross. You say, okay, when is the bridge going to be essentially completed? When is the debt is going to be paid? They say, oh, we'll pay this off in 5 years. Oh, okay, so after 5 years, we can stop paying $8 and we can pay what, $1 or $2? Or no, you're going to continue to pay $8. Why would we continue to pay $8 if in 5 years you already did the algorithm and that the bridge is going to be paid for? Oh, well, maintenance. So is maintenance the same amount for you to keep the bridge? Like, why didn't it have the bridges? We just need a maintenance, right? But no, if you notice, bridge prices, toll prices do not go down, they go up. So again, I think there's a lot of fraudulent things that occur all through this nation, even on a scale of that manner. Also, President-elect Donald Trump, he keeps himself in the news. He has announced to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, citing a desire to assert U.S. influence in the region. This proposal has sparked discussions about its feasibility and the potential diplomatic implications with neighboring countries. Donald Trump said, yeah, Gulf of America. Have you noticed, is Donald Trump trying to take over the world slowly but surely by just claiming things? If we had any dealings in, are we close and adjacent to, Donald Trump is, I don't know, is he turning out to be a war president? Because usually Republicans come in and end wars, let alone start wars. We have a history of that as well, but usually Democrats are the ones that are always in war. Okay, but again, he's been very, very pro-American, but I think if he continues to speak like this, some people may call him a dictator. And I don't mean for Americans, I mean for the world. That's what it seems like. It's like he wants to own everything in his weight. So the Gulf of America. But wait, the El Presidente of Mexico, Presidente Claudia Sheinbaum, she states that, oh, Gulf of America, what about America Mexicana? Because what she's showing here is a 1661 world map of the Americas and the Gulf of Mexico and Mexico City. And that you can also have America Mexicana. Because you see America up here. I know the picture is pretty small. Give me a second. See, blow that up. If you look where up here, you have America and you have Mexicana. So again, she said, what about that? And again, a lot of these discussions with Donald Trump, Canada being the 51st state, Greenland can be a territory, or even Canada can be a territory of America, Panama Canal, Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico. So he's saying a lot of strong language. Let me tell you, after a while, what seemed to come out as jokes or started to be taken very seriously, right? People were taking very serious. Okay, he's talking tough. But when they start to take it literally, that is when you're going to start to see a lot of countries move away from America. Because the one thing we don't want to do is hurt the foundation that America has built. We have a lot of partnerships, believe it or not. Now, don't get me wrong. We give a lot of country money, and that's why a lot of them will always be our friends as long as we give them foreign aid. But if we push back too hard, if they understand that they're probably better together and exclude America because of just the strong political climate we are in right now, believe it or not, they'll be more self-sufficient than depending on America. But we don't want that, right? Because we want our prices to stay low. We want America to be prosperous. I'm just giving you the truth. And a lot of people don't like to hear this raw and this plainly, but this is what it's about. In order for you to live the life that you live, the country that you love, yeah, America has its dangerous portions, right? But for the most part, America is a safe country, and people live at a higher standard in America than they do in any other part of the world. Don't let people fool you like Europe is some great place to live. Yeah, they have a lot of historic buildings and stuff, but the places that majority of those Europeans live in are very, very small. Houses in the UK are very expensive. You think America's expensive? Just go over there and try to buy UK gas, or France, or any of those countries, even those European countries altogether. That's why you see so many darn people in America, because you can take $250,000 to $350,000 and find you land and buy your house. You can probably buy you 2 acres, 3 acres, and buy you a 4,000 square foot house. Some places in America at $350,000. Now, it may not be some place where you may want to live, like Arkansas, Missouri, Alabama, if you go out there in the sticks. But you can still have land, and you can still build a house, and you can still live good. You may not be near much stuff, but nonetheless, those places in America still exist. So that's why America is still one of the most sought after countries in the world, because we still have so much land, and we have so much land for real estate. But majority of the people, we live near large cities, right? Most people are living, like myself, no more than an hour outside of a major city and no more than an hour from a major airport. So that brings everybody into close proximity. But yet, again, there's a lot of people in America, but I really think that the strong language that Trump is talking, not that he should stop, but I think he should just dial it back just a bit. That's my personal opinion, because I'm looking at the long-term effects if we fracture a lot of our relationships. No, we should be in equal deals with these people. If they were getting over in America because of the Democrats, then yes, he should definitely restructure those deals. I'm not talking about nothing like that when it comes to business, and the likelihood and taxes and money and the economy. I'm just talking about the relations that we've already built. Yeah, they should definitely be altered to benefit both parties, if not us more than anybody else, to be real. But again, just a dial back, if not more than anything else. You guys have a great and wonderful day. This is Blacklogic.